You know, some moments in football are just bigger than the game. This was supposed to be a night all about a spectacular goal. Instead, it became a flashpoint, forcing the entire sport to look in the mirror and answer some really tough questions.
A disgrace to football. I mean, wow. You just don't hear a top pro use words that strong about another player or incident very often. But what happened in this Champions League match, it sent shockwaves to the sport. And it all started with a moment that should have been nothing but pure joy.
So, how did we get here? How does a moment of sheer brilliance on the pitch turn so ugly, so fast? To really get it, we have to go back to that stadium, under the lights with the ball at the feet of one of the most exciting players on the planet.
Okay, so picture this. It's a huge knockout game. The crowd is just a wall of noise, the tension's through the roof. And then, Vinicius Jr. does what he does. He just unleashes this unbelievable shot that flies into the back of the net. It's genius. The place erupts. But in the seconds that followed, that incredible high just completely vanished.
And just look how quickly it's all unraveled. First, you have the goal, the absolute peak. But almost immediately, Vinny is in the ref's face, saying he's been racially abused by an opponent. The game just stops for 10 whole minutes. And then, and this is huge, his teammates, the entire Real Madrid team, they walk off the pitch with him in solidarity. The whole mood just flips from celebration to crisis.
After the match, Vinicius himself went on social media with this really powerful and defiant statement. It's a message that, tragically, he's had to send before, but it put the focus right back where it belonged, on the very real human impact of this stuff.
But the drama, oh, it didn't end there. Not even close. In the press conference after the game, the other team's manager, the legendary Jose Mourinho, gave his take, and, well, he basically lit a whole new fire.
So when Mourinho was asked straight up if Vinicius had provoked the incident, he didn't just say no. Instead, he said the celebration wasn't respectful. He's basically drawing a direct line between Vinny's actions and the alleged abuse that came right after. He's framing it as a cause and effect.
And then he went on to defend his club, Benfica, by bringing up their greatest player ever, the icon Eusebio. He says he told this to Vinicius right there on the pitch, kind of using the club's history with a legendary black player as a shield, as proof that the club itself just couldn't be racist.
Well, as you can probably guess, Mourinho's comments did not land well, at all. They sparked immediate and really sharp criticism from others in football, who said his focus wasn't just in the wrong place, it was actually dangerous.
And right here, this is the heart of the whole debate. You've got Mourinho over here talking about on-field etiquette and respect, but on the other side, you have a legend like Clarence Seedorf calling it a big mistake. He's arguing that Mourinho's logic opens a door to a terrifying idea, that if you feel provoked, racism is somehow an okay response. One is talking sportsmanship, the other is talking about a fundamental moral line you just don't cross. Former England star Theo Walcott brought up another angle. For him, it wasn't just about what Mourinho said, it was that he said anything at all. Walcott's point was that in a moment this sensitive, this charged, maybe the smartest thing for Mourinho to do would have been to just not talk, to let things settle instead of immediately dropping his controversial take. So while this storm was swirling around Mourinho's words, players across Europe were sending a much simpler message: complete support for Vinicius and a demand for real consequences. And the player reaction was fast, and it was united. We heard from Trent Alexander-Arnold right at the start, just calling it disgusting. You had a superstar like Kylian Mbappe saying the player involved shouldn't be allowed to play anymore, and then the legend Thierry Henry. He spoke from experience, reminding everyone of that awful, lonely feeling of being the target.
You know, Thierry Henry's analysis cut right to a specific detail. He pointed out that the accused player, Gianluca Prestiani, covered his mouth with his shirt during the whole thing. To Henry, that move just screamed guilt. It looked suspicious, he said, like Prestiani knew he was saying something he didn't want the world to see or hear.
So, after the incident, the controversy, the players all speaking out with one voice, the spotlight now moves. It moves away from the pitch and the press rooms, and it lands squarely on the people in charge, the governing body of European football.
And really, this is the question that's hanging over everything now. The players have spoken, the pundits have argued, but talk doesn't fix this. The call for real, meaningful action is getting louder and louder, because this whole incident proved the sport is at a tipping point. The ball is in UEFA's court now, and whatever they do next, it won't just be a response to one night, it'll be a statement about what football truly stands for.